Have you ever had beef with another content creator? Do you think anyone from your previous salon has seen your podcast about your experience with them? What is something your followers would be surprised to know about you? Are you and your boyfriend still together? I'm glad someone asked this actually, because I did want to address this. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I realize it's been a while since I did a Q&A, and I feel like I've been getting a lot of the same questions popping up in my comments and DMs, so I figured we were due for a little chat. And I'm recording in the car because it's the best lighting in here. So I asked you guys on here in my community tab and also on my Instagram story if you had any questions for me, and we're just gonna get right to it because I got a lot of questions. Ooh, right off the bat, I love this one. Have you ever had beef with another content creator? Was a content creator you met in real life different from how they portray themselves online? I've never had beef with any content creators, but I would say 95% at least of the content creators that I've met in real life are completely different from how they are online. And it's just so funny to me. I always tell people this. Being a really good content creator takes a certain type of personality. And I just don't think personally that I have that type of personality. And if you make content yourself and you've ever felt bad or felt like, oh, I can't keep up, I'm not able to post as much or get as good quality, and I'm not growing and I don't have the numbers like a lot of these other people do, and they're so successful and they're so good at content creation, and it just seems like they are the perfect person, they have this perfect glamorous life, they have everything together. I'm telling you, when you meet them in real life, you'll be like, oh, interesting. They're not normal people. They are weirdos. They are very socially awkward. This is not everyone, obviously, but I'm just speaking from a lot of the people that I've met. And I've met some like really big content creators, and then I've also met some smaller ones and just kind of everywhere in between. You know, not all of them are like this. There are definitely some, like I met Jordan Both recently on a brand trip. I wasn't familiar with her content before I met her, and now obviously I follow her and I see her posts. She is exactly the same way that she is in her videos. But I've met a lot of other people that they're just weird. Granted, I've met them at events and on like brand trips and stuff. And so technically when you're there, I mean, the point is for you to be getting content. So I don't know what they're like when they're just like at home being normal, if that even exists. But they just, everything that they do is about content, and the amount of like takes that they'll take and everything is, oh, get a photo of me here. Oh, it's just not normal. There was one person in particular that I remember meeting, but she at the time, this was like 2016, this was like still kind of in her peak. And I remember meeting her at an event, and as someone that is shy and can be a little bit awkward, I totally understand that sometimes you can come off rude. And maybe that's not really the case. Maybe it's just that, like, you're awkward. It's, you know, it is a little bit uncomfortable when someone in person is like, oh, I know you, I recognize you. But I remember meeting her and I was like, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. It's funny, I was actually watching one of your videos while I was getting ready to come here. And she just was like, just seemed very snobby and like had no interest in making conversation with me. She's just like, like one of those. And I was like, unsubscribe. Next question. What is your getting out of a rut routine look like? Oh my God. I feel like I get stuck in ruts pretty regularly. It's like a constant cycle. Number one thing is always taking a long hot shower, because I feel like when I get stuck in a rut, my like personal care just kind of, you know? So making myself feel better on the outside always kind of helps me. So, you know, styling my hair, doing all the things, tinting my brows, and then cleaning, deep cleaning. I love to put on a long podcast and then just zone out, deep clean. Just a full reset always helps me get out of a rut. Ooh, a couple people asked about the salon industry. How do I feel about becoming a hairstylist now, like in 2026? Do I feel like the industry is dying? No, I don't. And honestly, like in recent times with the economy not being good, a lot of people are struggling to get by. And that really made me nervous because I was like, well, if people are like struggling to put food on the table, the last thing that they're going to care about is going to get their hair done. But I mean, it could just be the area that I live in, but I've been busier than ever this last year and certainly these last few months. So it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I think everything is always going to be forever changing and evolving, right? This industry especially. And actually, speaking of that, I feel like this is one of the few industries right now where AI is not able to replace us, at least as of yet. And I think that a lot of people are just craving that human connection and interaction. So I think that this industry is kind of thriving right now. But I wouldn't say that it's dying at all. And I would say if you want to get into this industry, I love it. I really love what I do. I love the flexibility that it allows me, especially now that I work for myself. It's great. I will say, I've always said this from the beginning, you have to be passionate about it though. You can't just get into it because it seems like it would be fun or because you like the idea of having a flexible schedule, because you'll get burnt out and you will leave the industry pretty quickly. So as long as you're passionate about it, I say go for it. If you weren't a hairstylist, what would you like to do? What would be your second career choice? I've been asked this a lot, and I would probably do what I was doing before I went to cosmetology school, which is working for a marketing firm and doing SEO and social media marketing for other companies, because I do really enjoy that. And what's nice about doing that is like eventually I could, and I've thought about this because I'm like, I don't know, can I see myself doing hair forever? You know, it would be kind of cool to just like have my own marketing firm. Then I could still have the same like flexibility and make my own schedule and that kind of thing. And I could pick and choose what kind of clients I'm working with. Like I could focus just specifically in like the beauty and wellness space, because that was the only thing that I didn't love about when I was working in marketing. I loved what I was doing, but I didn't love the companies I was working with, and I didn't have a say in that because, you know, like I was just an employee there. And a lot of the companies we were working with were just completely, I was so unfamiliar. It was like medical, construction, stuff that I had no knowledge of, no interest in, and so it made it more challenging. But I think that's realistically what I would probably do. I also have always said I kind of sometimes wish that I had went to law school, because I think that I would make a really good lawyer. And I'm just so fascinated by all types of law, especially criminal law, of course. Like I'm one of those people that I will sit and I will watch a criminal trial all the way through. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. I just love it. But I know that obviously being a lawyer is a lot of work. Law school is a lot of money, a lot of time. It's a lot of commitment. You don't really have the work-life balance that I desperately need in my life. So yeah, I don't know that would have worked out for me. But yeah, probably marketing, like content creation. What is something your followers would be surprised to know about you? I think just seeing what my personality is like when I'm around people in a social setting, like an unprofessional, I'm just with my friends, with my family. I am very sassy. I curse a lot. I think like when I put myself out on social media, I'm not faking anything. Like you are getting me, and this is totally raw and genuine, but you're getting the more professional version of me. I'm such a Northeastern New York girl through and through. My friends know I'm like the person, like, if you want true, honest advice and you don't want it sugar-coated, I'm the one that you come to. I am a no bullshit kind of person. Like, if I'm out with my friends and some guy comes and approaches us I will literally be like, leave us the fuck alone. Like, who are you? Did we ask you to come over to us? Oh, wait, this was the perfect segue. I wanted to talk about my upcoming Ireland trip. Oh my God. So I am so excited about it. If you didn't see my original announcement video, I am hosting a group trip to Ireland in October 2026. So there's still plenty of time if you are interested in coming to get that all booked and figured out. It is such an incredible opportunity. So the way that group trips work, if you've never done something like that before, is a company hosts the trip and they organize everything for you. So they create the full itinerary and you show up and you are doing most things. I don't want to say everything because you do have some free time to like do your own thing, but most of what you're doing is with a group of other people. And so it makes it so much safer. I've never traveled internationally by myself, and the idea of it terrifies me. Like, I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I mean, there's so many parts of Europe I would love to go to, but I don't know that I would ever do it by myself because it's really expensive to get over there and then pay for all of your stays and then travel, getting, from place to place, all of the meals. And then on top of it, you have to coordinate everything and plan it all yourself, which is difficult to do when you're traveling somewhere that you've never been before, So with a group trip, everything is planned out for you and all of the ground transportation is taken care of. So all you have to do is show up, like, get your plane ticket, get to Dublin. You are going to get picked up at the airport, taken to the hotel, and then we're going to travel to a few different cities in Ireland throughout the trip. That's all going to be taken care of. Like, we are going to be bussed to and from all of the different places. So literally you show up and then you're just there for the experience. Everything is handled for you. Meals are handled and it's all inclusive. So you're paying one flat price up front. The only thing that's not included is your airfare, but everything else, all of your meals, all of your stays, all the ground transportation, everything that we do, unless you want to like buy souvenirs, obviously, but everything else is covered, which is amazing. And I will be there. I will be like the host of the trip. So you'll get to hang out with me for 8 days and you'll get to see my true personality. And I mean, it's just such a cool opportunity. Like, we will really be able to get close and get to know each other. There is a website that has all of the details, all of the pricing, the full itinerary, any kind of questions you have. So you can go check it out there. Spots are limited. So if you are interested, I highly suggest sign up. Those of you who already reserved your spot and got information, if you want to come, please book it, because until you officially book it and get that confirmation, your spot's not going to be like forever held for you. So, if it fills up, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity. And the price point is so good too. It's $2,500. And then with tax, it's under $3,000. And that, like I said, includes everything for 8 days, which is crazy. And the company Atomic Trips, they're amazing. If there's any questions that you have, you can reach out to them and they will get back to you. They can even do a video chat with you. They really have done such a good job laying everything out. And there's an app too. Like, once you book the trip, you'll have access to a group chat and there's like a full breakdown and they help you get flights as well. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to go to Ireland, this is such a great opportunity. Oh, and there's also payment plans you can do. So if that's, a lot all up front, totally get it. You can break it up into monthly payments and we have tons of time until the actual trip. So you can get the payment pretty low, which is nice. I would love if you would come. It's going to be such an amazing time. So I'll have that website linked down below. That's where all the information is if you want to sign up. Anyway, okay, back to the questions. Ooh, what's your toxic trait in relationships? It's funny because if you asked me this like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, nothing. I'm like a perfect, great partner. I've learned a lot about myself over the last few years. I've done a lot of self-work and reflecting, and I'm still working on it. Trust me, I am not anywhere near perfect. I know no one ever is, but I've learned that I can be very controlling and overbearing as a partner. I am very much the type of person that I'm like, I'm gonna get stuff done. This is what needs to be done. I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm not gonna involve you. And if you don't want to get on board and have things be the exact same way I want them, you can go. Which obviously isn't good. I need to be better at compromise and at the partnership aspect, because I've always just been like it's my way or the highway kind of person, and obviously that doesn't work in a good, healthy relationship. Wildest date story. I don't really have too many crazy date stories. Like, most of the people that I've ever gone out on dates with were actually really great. There was one guy that was weird and like kind of just an asshole. I might have talked about it in a vlog, but this was a few years ago when I was single and I had just moved down to North Carolina, and I met up with this guy that I had met on Hinge or Bumble or something, and we didn't really talk much. We had literally matched with each other, and then I think that same night we were like, oh, let's go out to dinner and just let's skip the meaningless texting and let's just meet and see if we actually like hit it off. And he was just so into himself, and as he's talking, we're in a loud restaurant, and so I guess I was looking at his lips because I'm like trying to pay attention and hear him, and so I was probably like also unknowingly like lip reading a little bit. And I think they say like if you are looking at someone's mouth when they're talking, that means like you're truly listening to them. But anyway, he was like, oh, I see you keep looking at my lips. You want to kiss them or something so weird and creepy like that. And I was like, no, I'm just really trying to listen to what you're saying. And he was attractive, I guess, but I wasn't like really feeling it. Like I wasn't like really into him. So like, ew, no, I don't want to kiss you. And in fact, now that you said that, we certainly will not be kissing at the end of this date. Ew. And then he was just weird. Like I was telling him how I just moved down here and I'm not necessarily looking to jump into anything super serious right away. I'm just kind of seeing what's out there and what are the vibes down here. And he just like he was like, oh yeah, there's no way. Women say that they're not looking for a serious relationship, but we all know that every woman, that's what they actually want or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, I gotta go. Oh, actually, this isn't someone I actually went on a date with, but this was years ago when I was single another time. I had matched with this guy on a dating app, and we were texting back and forth a little bit, and he wanted to meet up with me. He was like staying in a hotel somewhere or something, and he wanted to see if I would like meet at the bar in the lobby or I don't know, whatever. But I was like, it's a weeknight. It was kind of late. It was a little far from where I lived, and I was in cosmetology school at the time. I had class early the next morning. I was like, no, why don't we do something this weekend? But he was going to be out of town. So I was like, all right, well, let me know when you get back into town and maybe we can do something when you get back. Never heard from him, just assumed he wasn't interested or whatever. Because I think I texted him and got no response, whatever. Turns out I found out through like a mutual person who knew him that he got arrested. And long story short, he had been running a sex trafficking ring. I think it was the same night, if not the next night, that we were talking. In that same hotel where he was trying to meet up with me, he went back up to his room with the girl, drugged her, tied her up, and like held her hostage all weekend and kept like force feeding her drugs. And raping her. He let her go eventually, or she escaped or something horrible. And yeah, it turned out that he had lived in all these different places all over the country, which he had told me about. And he had arrest warrants out for his arrest in all of those states and had, all of these charges. Crazy stuff. He ended up getting a life sentence. And I always think back to that because during that period of my life, I was making some stupid decisions. So that girl easily could have been me. But it just goes to show I will prioritize sleep and being in my bed over anything else. Thank God for that. You just never know. You got to be safe out there. In the future, are you still going to be your boss and eventually get a bigger salon to work in? Or have you thought about working under somebody else again? I feel like now that I've gone off on my own, I don't see myself ever wanting to go back to working in a big salon just because there's something wrong with working in a salon and like being commissioned. But for me personally, I just like working by myself and I like being able to make all of my own decisions. It's just been the best thing for me. I have thought about though, if I were to move and had to rebuild a clientele again from scratch, I would maybe temporarily go work in a bigger salon, depending on what my situation is financially at the time. If I could afford to like pay for a suite, even like during the time when I'm still building and I'm not fully booked, like if I just have that extra money that I can just afford to pay it regardless of how many clients I have, then I would do that. But if I don't, then I probably would temporarily go back to a commission salon just until I can grow my clientele. But I think that's the only scenario that I would do that. One of my good friends is opening a salon here, and I was toying with the idea of maybe going and working there and booth renting. But the more I've thought about it, I just love being in a suite and having the privacy, and I know my clients really love it too. And I just love how like low responsibility it is. So it's like, it just, for me, it's the best situation. Do you think anyone from your previous salon has seen your podcast about your experience with them? Funny you should ask, because as it turns out, yes, they have seen it. I heard through the grapevine, so I don't know too many specific details, but apparently someone who listened to the video, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, I started doing a podcast here on my YouTube channel, and the first episode I was talking about like toxic work environments, and I shared the story of the last salon that I worked at and just what the situation was there and what led me to ultimately leave and want to go work for myself. Apparently somebody saw it. I have no idea who it is. I don't think it's someone that I know in real life. I think it was just a viewer, but apparently someone emailed the salon. And so then, yeah, they ended up seeing my video. I'm glad someone asked this actually, because I did want to address this. I don't know what the intention was behind that. I'm going to assume that there was good intent, but what kind of outcome exactly were you expecting? I don't want anyone going and attacking anybody, period. The experiences that I have in my professional and personal life are my experiences, and I have the right to share those experiences, but I don't need anyone else getting involved. I don't need you to try to like fight for me or stand up for me. I like to just leave those situations and it's all good, and I might talk about what happened, but that doesn't mean necessarily that there's beef there. And all you're doing by getting yourself involved is creating problems that don't need to exist. It makes me look bad because I never asked anybody to go email the salon. That's weird. It's a weird thing to do. It's a really immature thing to do. And it just makes things really uncomfortable. Because now it looks like I'm trying to like take down their salon and send people to attack them, which is not the case at all. Like, I wish them nothing but the best. I have no hard feelings. I just didn't feel like I was treated the best when I was working there. And I feel like that's a very common experience in this industry. And I wanted to share that experience so that, you know, the message is like, this is common. Look, this happened to me, but you shouldn't accept this kind of treatment. And it should inspire you the same way it inspired me to go off and find a better environment, whether that's working for yourself or, you know, whatever. That was the whole point. So yes, they did see the video. I haven't had any contact with anybody. I haven't heard anything. Like I said, it's just been like through the grapevine kind of things. Where would be your dream vacation? Ireland. With some of my amazing subscribers. Could be you. October 2026. All right, there were a lot of questions about future things. Do you see yourself being a mom? You know, this is something that I've always been on the fence about. And I never was the type of person that was like, oh, it's my dream. Like, I know I want to have children. It's tough right now, too, with just like the state of the world and the economy. It's like, it's a lot. And do I want to have to bring another human into this world? Like, what's the future going to be like? And with AI and all of that, I'm not even just thinking about what it's going to be like to have a kid. I think about what's the world going to be like for them when they're an adult? Do I want to force someone to live in this world? But ever since getting my dog, the maternal side of me has come out, and I've seen the way that I've like trained and raised him. I'm like, oh, I think I actually could be a really good parent. Now that a lot of my friends are having kids too, it's becoming something that feels a little bit like closer within reach. I know my boyfriend really wants kids. That has become a non-negotiable for him. So assuming that things work out with us and we stay together, I think that yes, kids are in my future, or at least one kid. But I'm very much like a leave it up to the universe kind of person. I do know that he would make an incredible father, though. So it's really just a matter of like when and if the time is right and all of that. Speaking of which, I got asked, are you and your boyfriend still together? Yes, we are. You have marriage plans. You think you'll get engaged soon. I don't know. That's another thing. Again, I've never been the kind of person that's like, oh, I dream of my wedding day someday, or I don't know. I like the idea of being someone's wife and like having a husband and having that like official title, but it doesn't hold that much weight to me as I think it does for a lot of other people. I mean, we talk about these things, obviously, but we both would like to just be in a more stable place, because right now he literally just moved down here not even 6 months ago. He's just kind of getting started in his career, and we're kind of figuring out what our future is going to look like in the next few years. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I've been learning a lot about myself and working on myself as a partner. Same for him. And I just want to be totally sure before I were to jump into marriage or having kids with someone, you know? And I feel like not enough people talk about that. I feel like a lot of people are just get caught up in like the romance of it and the traditional like, oh, you've been together for X amount of years, so when are you getting married? But that's also why half of marriages end in divorce. And, you know, most kids, their parents are not together anymore. I don't want to be another statistic. And I just feel like a lot of those things, they add a lot of pressure. So I just want to just chill, kind of enjoy and settle into living together again and this kind of new phase, new chapter, whatever, of our relationship. Like, even though we've been in each other's lives and we've been together on and off for a long time. I mean, it's about to be 8 years since we like originally started dating, but we were broken up for a few years there. And then even when we got back together, we were long distance that whole time. So in my mind, our relationship really only like restarted when he got down here a few months ago. So it's still, to me, in some ways, still feels kind of fresh. I don't know. I hesitate sometimes to like share too much about my relationship online because I don't want people to like misconstrue or speculate, twist my word, whatever, make assumptions, because, you're not here. You don't know us intimately. You don't see our day to day. Like, you don't know all of the specifics. And people tend to kind of take their own experiences and then project that onto other people. And I don't need to hear outside opinions from strangers. Yeah, that's why I don't really talk about us much, and I don't really show him much in my videos. But yeah, I mean, it's just real. Oh, and someone asked how he's adjusting to living in North Carolina. That's a big part of it too. It has been an adjustment, and adjusting, I feel like for him, and I don't want to speak for him and like air his, personal business out there, but he's going through a lot of change in his life right now, getting out of school, starting his career, moving far away to come be here and live with me when he's lived in the same place his whole entire life. He never moved away. So not being with his family all the time, being far away from all of his friends and everything that he's ever known, and then living with me again, because he was living alone for the last we both were living alone for the last several years. So it's an adjustment, and like the weather is different here too. So, there's just a lot, and it's been tough, and it definitely put a strain, I will say, on our relationship, and it's just taken a little bit of like letting things kind of settle. I feel like the last couple of months, I can tell that he's adjusting, and this has just become like his life and his new normal, and I think he is enjoying it here. And it's just been fun living together again and getting to spend time with each other, and even just like going out and running errands together. Like, it's just nice to be able to do that stuff together. Someone else asked, I know you love having your boyfriend living with you, but do you miss living alone sometimes? Yes, especially in the beginning. Like, that was the hardest part for me. It was like, on one hand, I was so excited to have him finally be here because long distance was so hard. But I got so used to living by myself. Sorry, my battery died, so if the angle kind of changed, that's why. And this battery is running low too, so I think this will be our last question. But yeah, it was tough. I was used to just living by myself. You know what it is. If you've ever lived alone, you know how it is. It's quiet, you have your privacy, it's just peaceful, you can have everything be exactly the way you want. You don't have to have anybody else's mess or anybody to be like bitching to you about your mess. It's great. So that was hard. But now that a few months have gone by, I've gotten used to it now again, and it's great. And there's so many more pros than there are cons to living with your partner. And especially with our dynamic, it's just been good because he's helps me so much. And, it's hard when you're living alone and you're single and you're working and you have pets and you especially when like trying to run a business and stuff. It's just I felt like I had a lot on my plate. So it's nice that he's here to take some of that off for me, and he helps me tremendously with so much, and I am really grateful. Like I said, battery is dying, so I am going to wrap up this video here. There were still more questions, though, that I wasn't able to get to. So if you have more questions for me, leave them down below. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Don't forget to check the description for that link with all of the details about the Ireland trip. I would love for you to come, and I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you really soon in my next video. Bye.